Let's turn that off. Cool. Well, how is everybody? So today I'm going to go ahead and push forward on my ArtStation piece. I do have some things I want to get, more advanced on, such as the boots. Let's go ahead and give it one more subdivision level here. But yeah, I mean, so far it's coming along quite nicely. I'm really excited about how it's looking. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's make sure that everything is filled with this skin shade material, just because that way I'm going to be able to go ahead and take advantage of the actual color of the object versus the appearance of the object in ZBrush. And then I can go ahead and export my color maps. Eating Italian ice. It was cheap. All right. Cool. Okay, so for the shoes, these do already have textures, right? Yep, they already have text. Well, they have UVs. Okay, so let's do this. Let's say grab this, Control Shift A. All right. Now what we can do here, this will be cool. Surface, noise, frame. One of the things I want to do, if I have anything color-wise, I want to make sure that it is the same color, possibly darker. Let's do something like that maybe for now. So this is going to help us. Let's go ahead. I'm going to say, let's say apply to mesh. Oh, that looks terrible. Control D one more time. Just give it, hopefully, enough. Yep. Oh. I'm like jumping around. I'm feeling all finicky or something. So apply to mesh. Man, it's still not high enough resolution to really get the look out of it that I want. That's miserable. That is miserable. But it might be worth actually making it so that the scale is a lot chunkier. Let's go ahead and let's do this. Then we'll say apply to mesh. Let's just take the color blend off altogether. Just made it a little bit too dark. want to do is I want to use this masking to be able to pull out certain details, you know, so like I'll come through here, just kind of pull out the edges a little bit. Maybe not. I don't like that. I'm just going to get rid of that noise. At least so far as it is in the you know, so far as it is in the geometry. Not spray, color spray, take the color down. Sweet. Let's not do add, I want RGB. Okay, so right now I'm just trying to go through and add some subtle color variation using the mask that I generated. This should help to kind of unify the look of the character overall. So yeah, there are a lot of very interesting things that we can kind of do with this now. So I'm gonna kind of come over. Let's play with this. Thanks, Kara. How you doing? Not too bad. A little bit tired, but I think we'll live. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through and kind of do a little bit of this. Actually, let's go and make it Z sub. That'll kind of vary up the surface just a little bit in a way that adds interest. I squished a bug on my monitor. Yes! Thing's not gonna bug me anymore. Getting that with like a little bit of height information, that makes a huge difference. It makes it feel definitely much more worn. I'm going to add some of that kind of coming through here a little bit too. Actually, let's do this instead. Let's do it, instead of doing it right down the middle of that, I'm going to do it kind of more on the side here. Try to raise some of this, make it feel more like a fold or a wrinkle. I think for that to really work though, I think it's going to need to be, let's smooth it out, but smooth it out just in geometry. Yeah, that's better. times, back a few times. Come on, catch up. There we go. Boom. Okay. Let's turn off that mask again. Something similar in here. Push in, pull out. Oh. Standard brush. Make sure that's all the way up in its top subdivision level, which looks like it is. We'll just go ahead and we'll just add in some wear and tear in there. I'm a poet. Yes. Let's see, let's go into the surface. Mask by noise. Control A. Bring back the other piece. Control H to hide the mask. And we can just kind of paint in the wear along the edges in these high points. Just going to kind of add just a little bit of scattered touches over around here, you know, in places. I want this to feel like it might be some type of leather, you know. Oh no, this is the intensity. Shoot. RGB intensity is what I wanted. That piece is starting to come along a little bit better. What was that? That was odd. Okay, now we're good. Same thing over here, kind of getting those high points. Some of these high points in here. Maybe I can go through actually, and let's get some of these points where it's like you're getting a lot of lace wear and things like that. I think that makes sense. And granted, I'm not being insanely careful about this because this character, I mean, this character is not going to be super seen. And I don't want to be focused on the surfacing aspect of this character as much as I would rather be focused on the actual modeling and sculpting and the storytelling aspects of this character. So, so yeah. So I am trying to put these sorts of elements in here to help support story, to support look, and get the feel to be about right. Let's go ahead and change that darker color now. We can go ahead and add in some darker tones in here in this in the inside of that crease. Maybe put some like underneath these rivets, underneath the eyelets here, just to make it feel like there's like grunge kind of congregating right in these areas. I'll get some underneath these, maybe underneath and around. underneath and around these pieces, these fasteners, and then down around here at the end. And try to lightly get the edges. Now, for right now, right now I have symmetry on. So symmetry is going to help me to be able to get a lot of what I want out of the texture, and then I'll be able to go in and add some variation to make it so that it's unique for a shoe. Fill it in there around the eyelets, make it feel kind of grungy. Really helps to kind of secure the idea that this kid is some sort of mechanic, or that he's some sort of scavenger, and his shoes are worn and torn, things like that. I might want to switch back to the lighter color for the top area there. Let's kind of get some more of this dark down in here though. Thanks, Cara. Some more surface variation around here. It's one of the really, really nice things about using a combination of the masking and everything, is that like the masking together with the alphas, together with the spray variation, things like that, really helps to push the idea, the randomness, the things like that. To help us really get or be able to try to achieve the idea of something more organic. Something like that. Yeah, it's all about like combining different tools and different different things. Sweet. So we got one part of that shoe done. I'm going to go ahead and make some more solid poly groups, or pieces, so that I don't have to worry about different selections and things like that. I don't feel like I'll need the different selections anymore. So I mean, it could be good just to go through and have these different pieces. These different pieces be of the same poly groups. W. I think I have an ulcer on the tip of my tongue. Yep. I hope it's not from my Italian ice. So this piece down here, this little rubber piece, I want this to be, well, this rubber piece, I said rubber as if you guys knew that that's what I was going to say. This brown piece right here, I want to make this a rubber piece as well. So we're going to say mask by noise. That should add to the noise that we already have. And then what I'm going to do, Control H again, and I'm just going to kind of add to the surface just a little bit, just to kind of break up the, not just the surface, but also break up the color. At this point, it's all about just kind of, oops, that's a little bit heavy. Uh-oh. Okay, for some reason it had gotten kind of weird on me for a second. I got a little bit too heavy in the detail, so I'm just going to take that back. I was just kind of playing, seeing kind of like what I could get away with. Obviously it wasn't much. Okay, and then one of the things that I can do now that I've gone through and kind of broken up the surface generally, I can come in with my masking. I can say mask by crease, groups and borders, it's alright. I don't need to worry about that right now. But you can see mask that, you can see it's getting me a little bit of a mask right there where that creased line is. Okay. Let's bring everything back. Invert the mask. And we will soften that out. Just a couple, 2 or 3 times. And then if I go ahead, I'm going to say Control H on this. And if I use my brush on it now I'm getting like a really tight edge treatment through here. So now I can go ahead and I can give it some good, good pounding with this brush and really kind of detail that edge a little bit so that it's not, perfect little edge anymore. Now it's got some level of wear to it, kind of a corrosion sort of look. So like I like to use this on my metal pieces, and I like to, it's just a really nice way to treat edges. You can see, there we go. So now we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to really look like we've got something going on. Okay, and we've only gotten 2 pieces done so far, Okay, I'm going to hit save because that's just smart. You see 4B, yep, great. Replace that. These laces, you know what? fact, let's leave it low resolution for now while I go through and try to figure out a good kind of nylon pattern for this so that I can make it feel like laces. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to back into surface. I'm going to go into noise, but I'm going to turn off the yeah, we'll turn off that noise. Okay, what we're going to do, maybe we'll turn that to something like that. Okay, now we're going to say alpha, and then we can go to, you know, whatever alphas we have. So we've got these, I've got some stuff. Let me just see if I can remember exactly where I have it. Must have alphas, not streak. Materials? Boo. Where did I put them? Interesting. Go into texturing. Here we go. Here we go. Final. And let's take a look at some of our different depth. The depth one is the one that we want to look at. Okay. So we have all these different things. So we've got this one, which might be all right. Number 11. Or number 20 maybe. Let's do number 11. I feel more convinced by 11. Okay, let me see. Makes basic noise. Take that down to 0, so you can see what the effect is. The alpha is going to need to be a lot smaller, and I think I'm definitely going to need to choose the other alpha. 20 is the other one that we were looking at. Let's change it to UV. Alpha scale down. So you can see the effect that this is getting. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see it. Add in our resolution, so you can see that's what this is looking like. Okay, this is a really cool effect. I love being able to use this sort of workflow because it gives you so much with so little effort. You know, I don't have to worry about going through and sculpting this in. So I'm going to say apply to mesh, and we'll see how bad it looks on the first application. Sometimes you got to go through and kind of just apply it and then go back and kind of, you know, test it and things like that. But that turned out really nicely. I'll keep that. Boom, now we've got laces. Oh, that's so cool. I might do something similar with this piece right here. So let's try it just for the sake of seeing what it looks like. Once autosave finishes up. I love how the shoes are like the heaviest pieces on this character. I should probably actually have this kind of split out a little bit, but I don't know. It's done, so I can't really split it out anymore. Control H to hide the mask. Let's turn on noise. And then same thing, we got to go in, edit, and we're just going to probably boost the scale of this a little bit. Because it just feels a little bit too small. 0.009 though, just for the sake of, you know what, 0.009 is fine. We'll just say okay. We'll say apply to mesh. We'll see how that looks. That looks pretty dandy. It's cool because it allows me to get a variation in texture. Hey, Mike. Although I don't know, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't actually use that. I don't know. Let's try using a different alpha instead of using this one. Maybe we'll use something that looks more like a nylon, like a. Yeah, we'll try 11. We'll go ahead and we'll play with that. Huh. Yeah, no, maybe it's just something that I just go through and take off the stuff there. Let's see, the noise scale. Let's go ahead and take this and kind of really tone that back. Pull that scale down. Okay, and then we'll just say mask by noise. And we'll see what we can do. How you doing, Mike? I'm gonna come in here and kind of give it a little bit of like grunge between the laces to make it feel like it's trapping dirt. But dirt in these tight spaces. Starting to read a little bit dirtier. Which is good. Been working on a character for my brother. It's kind of simple, but I want to get it as accurate to the source material as I can. Ending up agonizing over the smallest of details that probably aren't even going to show up. Welcome to the club, brother. You can be the new president. Just gonna go through and kind of play with some of these areas without dealing with masking. Although I guess the masking is really doing, a big deal to kind of keep the organic look of the texture going. So maybe I'll go back and I'll do that. Hey Joe, what did I eat? I am eating a Italian ice. They had a big box of them over at the grocery store for a few dollars, and so I was like, sure, why not? And then these shoes were actually box modeled from a whatchamadiggit. From a box. It's like, what am I trying to say here? It's really fun. I really enjoy box modeling and having clean topology and things like that. And really, like the main idea is really just to kind of end up with something that I can actually use. And I like to get there as quickly as I can. And I feel like oftentimes the quickest way to get there is just by modeling it straight out. It's not always the case. There are times where I feel like I'm best served by just sculpting something out and then doing topology on top of that. It kind of just depends on the process I feel like going through. But yeah, super fun. I really, really enjoy it. The sound is kind of chill when you dig in. Some ASMR. Yeah. Think Mediterranean. Think cool, crisp, lemon, Italian ice. The shoes may or may not have actually been done on stream, so if you're interested in kind of seeing how those were handled, they might be on a stream somewhere. I'm not gonna go look for it right now. But yeah, I think so. I think they should be there somewhere. I'm gonna kind of block in, kind of go over and add in some of this grunge kind of all around, but mostly focusing to areas that are tighter, areas that don't have as much I guess exposure. So I'm trying to get it into the creases. You see I'm trying to like hold it off to these other areas, like underneath the other flaps, the other pieces that kind of come out over top of it. And then I'm going to go ahead with a darker color and then add in an even darker bit that comes out right up against those right up against these areas here. So let's go ahead. We'll grab this. This will just really help enforce the idea of like grunge. Like these are old boots. I mean, there are a lot of other things that we could do too to really help enforce that idea. But since time is of the essence, we're going to kind of fake some of the things that we'd be doing. Add in some muck and grime in there. Yeah, so I do have surface noise. Like I'm using surface noise as a mask, so that way my brush can only like affect the surface so much. And then I also have, an alpha, and I have a special stroke type and things like that. It becomes super helpful for just making sure that you're getting the effect that you want out of it. Push some of those darker values closer up against the edges. Now, I don't feel like insanely confident in my chances of like winning the ArtStation challenge. My big goal with the ArtStation challenge is to essentially just create something that's super different from my portfolio. And then, the ArtStation challenge was just it was a great challenge. It was a great inspiration for a piece that, I probably wouldn't have done otherwise. But yeah, super fun. Yeah, you can totally make your own alphas using Photoshop. All they are black and white images. So you can bring in your own. I don't think I have any here that I made, but I can go ahead and I can say import. For instance, I could bring any of these in. Any colored image that you bring in will actually turn into a black and white. It'll just be grayscaled. So here's a good example. I mean, there are things like this cavity or this cement, like this cracked sort of, or like different mud type materials. There are. Let me come over here. I know for sure that I've got some over here. So any of these are ones that I made. So I mean, here's like a heart. You can go ahead and you can use that heart. Make it, let's change the drag type. And you can see there's the, that's what that looks like. Okay, so you can do things like that. Let's import one that might actually be helpful. Let's try something like, let's try that. It's a little bit crazy. Let's try boosting this Z-add. So you can see kind of the effect that's having. It's really kind of bizarre, and it's doing it like this because I have the surface noise on there. If I were to go in here and do it without the surface noise, you can see this is the effect that we're getting. Okay, much cleaner shape, things like that. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's really fun to play with. Bring me my noise back. Oh, so you see, that's what I did. Is I just go ahead and mask my noise, and then Control H to be able to not have to see it. Change it back to what it was. Yeah, it's super helpful. Oh no, RGB easy sub. Okay. Need to really pull this intensity down. This is just helping to get a little bit of the color variation. It's super helpful. Yeah, I did join the ArtStation challenge. It's kind of intimidating because like all the pieces that have been submitted so far, or that are being worked on, they're incredible. They're super neat. And I love being able to see the range, and also see the level of completeness, and just beautiful work so far. And mine kind of fits into a league of its own, which is it's both fortunate and unfortunate, because for instance, it will be noticed. I mean, it'll be noticeable because people. It'll stand out because it's so stinking different from everything else. However, it's also one of those things that's kind of tricky because the other pieces stand out for other reasons. And so what I'm trying to get to a point of doing is relying on storytelling, relying on character and design, and just really kind of making this something that that shines, that helps to bring you in and help you experience a moment. So yeah, most of my texturing will be done inside of ZBrush and then Photoshop. So that'll be kind of fun. Mostly because it's just kind of fun to hang out on the stream, and I can't really for some reason my computer doesn't like to handle the stream and Substance Painter at the same time, so it's a little bit easier to just do any Substance Painter stuff, separate. The deadline is March 8th or something like that. So I've got a little bit of time. Daylight savings time is in March. Oh my goodness. Maybe I haven't put it in my calendar yet. You know what? Look it up online. That'll be easier. ArtStation. art to the station. Come in, ArtStation. So ArtStation, we've got our challengers. The third. So I'm going to put on the second ArtStation challenge do, and then all capitals, tomorrow / today. Put this in deadlines, and I'll just put it as an all day thing, because why not? On the day of event, we'll say add. Man, there's less time than I wish that there was. So yeah, 321 challengers. Wonder how many people will finish. Look at that. Look at that. For the for the character design, there were 820 challengers. For the game art, character art, look at that, 966 challengers. And inside of props, there's like very little. it's like, oh. Let's see. Well, yeah. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and mute my computer so that in case I get any kind of notifications on ArtStation, it doesn't like bleep. I'm going to go in and kind of splotchy this up quite a bit, just so that it feels like it's covered in dirt and mud or something. And then once I'm done getting some blotchy random color, just kind of go around the edges a little bit. It's like it's going through and it's taking into account the angle that we're looking at stuff. And so it's going to project things down however it sees the thing. Okay, masking. Okay. Control H. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and grab this dusty light color and we'll just kind of brush that in. let's get these. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the resolution down too. Turn up our resolution. And I'm going to say mask by smoothness. So you see that goes through and gets our little crevices and everything really nicely. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and smooth it once and then invert it, and then we're going to go ahead and try to get this kind of dirtied up a little bit, you know, get a little bit of color variation to it. It's a little bit too clean. Doesn't feel like it fits into the same shoe. Really, it's just kind of adding some, like, enough variation, but like believable variation. Right now I'm working on the back side so that it's you know, so if I get too much anywhere, it'll be on the back, but it should be enough to kind of go through and get a little bit more of that that occlusion type of look there. It's not working a ton. It's not working as well as I was hoping it would, but you can just kind of go over it a little. I don't know. Play with it. Just chillax, you know. Have some fun. Some of that in there. Maybe on these high points is where we can make it a little bit dirtier. Right up in here, something like that. You know, just kind of thinking about maybe the laces had kind of rubbed up against something, or you know, something like that. That makes sense to me. Yeah, let's kind of let that color kind of leak onto the eyelets here a little bit. It's kind of creating an interesting look there. It's kind of helping distort that color some. That is a bit of a mess. Let's go ahead and clean that up some. Better. It must have gotten messed up when I put in those folds. The folds there in the corner of the. That angle. have all these little inset pieces here. We'll say Control Shift S, and then Control Shift X. Oh, I was hoping that that would bring all that back, but I guess it didn't. So let's just bring it back manually. Control Shift S and then Control W. Okay. Step up in resolution. Control H to hide that. Oh. I was like, where is my... Actually, before I go through and do that, I probably ought to... Let's do this. Control Shift A. And we'll just step up in resolution. Let's go ahead and say... I need this to be a good metal color. So maybe what we'll do is we'll take this over more into the bluish. Let's do kind of like a warmer blue, or I guess a cooler blue. Let's go ahead and we'll say color, fill object. Cool. Going to start going through and kind of adding in some of this deeper color here. Okay, so now we've got that. We can just go, ooh, that's really dark. Ooh, that was really dark. Trying to come in and just add a little bit of kind of this grungy sort of you know, mucking rucking lach, you know. And this is stuff that Substance Painter would technically do for you for kind of, you know, kind of free, but there's some little tricks that I just don't know how to use. So I'm just gonna do it manually in here inside of ZBrush because I know how to use ZBrush. Making it feel like it's got some oil in there, some oil buildup, and that's super cool. I might make it Z-add. Just kind of make it Z-add and see how that feels. Build it up and make it positive. Either it's like, because if you have it as Z-add, it's going to make it feel like it's more of a buildup. But if you have it as Z sub, it's going to make it feel more like corrosion. And so I think that that's something that I just kind of want to test out a little bit and see if I like that look better. If I do, then I'll just kind of go over the other pieces again. You know, I don't really actually notice much of a geometry change per se, so I'll just leave it as a just leave it as it is for right now. Yeah. I got a little bit too dark in there. Okay. so now that part of it's good. Okay. Now, similar to what we were doing with the other stuff. Let's move that out of the way. Similar to what I was doing with the other stuff. So we've got, let's go ahead and we'll grab this color, move it up, something more, much warmer. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the masking by crease. Oh, look at that, there is no crease. Shift smaller, and it's not what I wanted to do. We're going to say geometry, crease, and we're going to take the crease tolerance all the way to 180 and then hit crease. Okay, and then same thing, we're going to come in here and we are going to say turn off perspective. Turn that off. Oh, you know what? So I'm gonna need that. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Got something on my Wacom tablet. I suspect it was from the Italian ice, but whatever. Oh, sitting on a pillow is so much better than sitting directly on this chair. S, and I'll just say crease PG. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to take just these center pieces because because I can. Invert it. You know what? We're going to do it like this. Control Shift S twice. Okay, now we can go ahead and we can just say mask. If I can remember where masking is. Mask. Turn off border, turn off groups. We're just going to have crease. Okay. Control Shift A. And we're just going to boost our subdivisions. One thing I do want to make sure of, a crease level set to 2. Okay, I guess. I want to go ahead and take these creases. I just want to smooth them out some. It's way too intense. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll say deformation, polish crisp edges. on, you gotta do something. You gotta do something. It's not doing anything. It's not doing what I want anyway. So we're just gonna zoom out, make my brush real big, and just smooth. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so now we've got Z sub is what we want. We're just gonna come through here, kind of start putting some wear on these edges, on these corners, kind of just all around. In fact, what I might do is just go ahead and kind of take my trim dynamic and kind of just wear these edges, these corners down some. This will help it to feel a little bit more worn. Yeah, everything we're trying to do here is really just for the sake of getting something to be more interesting, rather than just being, you know, a simple whatever. We want it to feel like it has purpose to it, or has a history, or like it's got, you know, some sort of clue as to who our character is, or what sort of life they lead, or, you know, things like that. Maybe some of their habits, or we're just going to kind of add some variation to that edge here. Pull this up. See, got that one, it looks like. Do this one. Let's see. Trying to keep an eye on the time. I don't particularly want to be on super late tonight, but I do want to make sure that I get some good progress on this. The last week or so, I've spent a bunch of time working on a maquette for a Netflix show, which has been great, but busy. Quick deadline, quick turnaround. But yeah, super fun. And then I've also had the last couple of weeks, I've been preparing for a presentation for a university up in Norway, and that was cool. I had that happen last night. This morning, more so, but yeah, it was great. It was great. It was really fun to be able to kind of chat with the students there, and to show them, you know, talk about my process, talk about the industry, things like that. So, I mean, if your university is looking for instructors or what's it called, presenters, like guest lecturers, things like that, feel free to have them reach out to me. I'm more than happy to go through and do that sort of thing. Oh, there we go. See, now by adding those simple little types of details, yeah, it's totally NDA covered. I wish I could talk about it because it is so much fun. It is so much fun. And it's way different from my typical style. So that's part of what made it so much fun for me. Was just being able to get something that was just super different, you know? The more I use the clay brush, the more I just absolutely love it. So, I mean, look at that. It's just so cool, you know? And it's one of those things where it's like you got to be careful how much you use it, but for the sake of getting kind of these interesting details going in along here, I think that this is just stellar. This is phenomenal. This is great. And it's cool because it makes it feel like some sort of weird corroded metal, you know. So it's and it feels very cartoony too, which is also a very big bonus. This evening I went on a walk, and it's too much of the same shape right next to each other. And there was this lady, and she'd kind of like reached out before when I had passed by, asking if I had cigarettes, and I'm just like, lady, those will kill you, you know, and she was trying to flag me down today too, and I'm just like, no, go away. Maybe. And and it was okay. So it wasn't just weird that she was calling out to me today. The thing that was weird was that she followed me for blocks, and I finally got the opportunity to kind of cross the street to kind of get away, and as I'm there waiting for forever, I'm waiting forever for this light to change. Drives me nuts that it takes that long. And it's like no cars coming. It's so not busy here, and so I'm just like, come on, change light. Give me a getaway opportunity. Come on, I know you want to. And it takes forever, but then finally it turns, and so I start crossing, and she jaywalks. She crosses in the middle of the street, outside of the crosswalk, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I know it's a little bit different for in at least in London anyway. I mean, it seems like people kind of just cross whenever, wherever. But yeah, oh my goodness, I was just like, I am not able to shake this woman. Let's give this a little bit of some chinks in the surface right here. gotta save this or I'm gonna lose it. Right folder. My wife is so funny. She doesn't care for the cold at all. The poor thing. I mean, got like super super cold at her parents' house. That's where my wife and kids are at right now. Kind of a lone man right now. Can't get enough cold. Yeah. I don't think it's fair for you to talk about her like that. She just laid her eyes on the man of her dreams and is pursuing what she desires. And you're just trying to run away. I'm a married man. Yeah, it's funny because I'm always feeling like too warm. And so, I'm the one. Like, I don't sleep with the covers. Like, I can't stand having too much, too much of the bed dressing on top of me when I'm sleeping. But my wife has like blanket on top of blanket on top of blanket, and so it's just kind of funny. It's funny. Snowing there for a week, and you're still too warm. Well, what temperature you get down to? I mean, I would suspect you're down at least close to 0 degrees Celsius, correct? Is it cold enough for the snow to stick? Let's come over here and we will turn the color back on. Turn the radio up. It's kind of inverted, I guess. Let's kind of put these highlights kind of around these high points. And then I've got some other ideas about how to actually kind of treat the surface of this of these pieces, of the metallic pieces, because I'm going to want to get some color variation in here that helps it to feel a little bit more. What's it called? More like metal. Because right now it's starting to feel a little bit more like stone. Okay, so I want to be careful with that for sure. Just trying to keep like a nice smaller kind of brush here so that it keeps the details about consistent size and gets the look that I'm looking for. I started watching, what's it called? Star Wars Resistance, I think is what it's called. It's I think it's a lot newer of a series for the Star Wars franchise, but it's Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's kind of fun. I feel like some of the characters are kind of irritating, and I think it's supposed to be aimed at younger audiences for sure. But I just feel like there's some things about the characters that they're just a little bit too whiny, or they're too, whatever. Um, they can be kind of hard to handle. 3 Below. Which one's 3 Below? Is that the one that DreamWorks did? Has like the alien guys. It's kind of related to Troll Hunters. Or is that 9 Below or something? It seems like it seems like it's called something like that. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro thing. Yeah, that's absolutely okay. Yeah, yeah, that one was a little bit harder for me. I didn't particularly like that one, the 3 Below, and I tried getting into it, but I don't know. There's something about it that's just not as appealing to me as the Troll Hunters. Troll Hunters was really kind of fun and epic, and I think that the way that the alien creatures in 3 Below talk, it's just kind of, I don't know. It's less appealing to me. It's less less interesting. I don't know. Eh, what are some things that you liked about it though? I mean, I'll give it another shot. I'll have to give it another shot because that's something that I find I do often. Um, yeah, what are some things that you liked about it? You're only on episode 2. Um, might help that I'm busy exercising at the time. So you're like listening to it or watching it while you're working out. Is that kind of what you're doing? That's pretty nice. I'm gonna do kind of like a general brush over, and because it has the Z add on, it's gonna give it a little bit of a raised bump, which is fine for in this instance. I guess it has Z sub on. It's not the Z add, but it's helping to add some cool texture to it. There we go. Now it's looking pretty cool. Okay, so we've gotten a lot done on that already, and it's just oh. Episode 1 wasn't the best, just exposition really. Episode 2 had the aliens disguised as humans with a lot of fish out of water stuff. The dog peeing on the fire hydrant and cutting it in half with a laser beam was funny. I don't even remember that. I can't remember if I even got that far. Just just on a running machine. Do you like the treadmill or do you like the elliptical? When I was growing up, I used to spend like an hour or more on the treadmill. I loved being on the treadmill. Yeah, I haven't been on a treadmill for, gosh, maybe 13, 14 years. It's crazy to think it'd be that long ago. It's really crazy. Okay, I'm going to turn to Z add. Actually, let's turn the intensity, let's turn it up quite a bit higher. Just to kind of break up the edge up here. But then I want to come through, I'll turn off the Z add. Actually, maybe I'll just turn it this way down, and then just really kind of press on this. Maybe not quite that much. Push this in here a little bit. It could get really dark. Qualified as a personal trainer a few years ago. I'd lean toward the treadmill for extended periods, but the elliptical for varied bursts of speed. That's interesting. Is the elliptical not a good choice for distance or for extended periods? I mean, I would think that that the elliptical would be a good choice for what's it called, for extended periods of time because of the lower impact on the knees and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very good at not knowing. And of course, if you're qualified or if you're certified as a personal trainer, that's pretty epic. By the way, had no idea that you did that. I did my lifeguard training when I was in high school. That was kind of cool. My my soccer coach was actually my my trainer, my certifier. He was a Vietnam War vet. One of the Green Berets. Trying to get some color in there. Okay. So now I've got like a few pieces left to do. We've got to get these this back brown piece, and we've got to get these two copper pieces. These two copper pieces, I do want them to feel like copper, or because like it's hard to explain kind of the idea of what it is that I feel like I'm seeing in my head. It's kind of not quite like a car material, but I feel like I see. Let me see if I can find this. Kids' shoes with crazy colors. Oh, that's gross. That is so terrible. Oh, those shoes. My eyes are like blinded by their hideousness. So bad. there's like this material that I know that I've seen, I think, in a pair of shoes that my daughter had at one point, which I believe we do not currently have anymore. But it's like this plastic that's meant to look like metal, but I mean obviously it really kind of doesn't, because it has like a subsurface scattering quality to it. Yeah, I don't know how easy it would be for me to find what I think I'm looking for. So I mean, there's this. It's kind of like chrome, but it's not really like a chrome look that I'm looking for. I mean, it's not even quite like this. This is much closer. Took down my spine. Say unique metallic plastics. Nope. Nope. Let me see. I don't know, it might be something I just need to make up. But ooh. Faux metal kids shoes. Oh. I'll try adding in the Skechers. This is kind of close. That sort of look. It's definitely getting closer. Yeah, I think that definitely feels like something Skechers would do. The idea of what it is I'm looking for. I think this is getting kind of close. Yeah, this is something that I haven't been able to find for like my design Bible. I haven't actually been able to put together a design Bible for this project yet, which I should. Yeah, this is more kind of the idea that I'm looking for. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, this sort of idea for this the strap that's going around the back here, obviously kind of more of an orange sort of color, like a copper sort of color, which may or may not actually work for me. And actually, since I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna come over here. And it's just I'm gonna go ahead and create a seam. Control A, Control Shift A, and then I'll just soften that out once, so that way we can see kind of what's going on right here. With deformation, we'll go ahead and we'll say, let's hit Control H so we can see what happens. Take inflate, let's kind of push that in. Bring everything back. I dig it. Just breaking it up just that little bit really helps to kind of sell the idea of the piece a little bit better. I am the Wu Assassin. That was an interesting show. I still don't think I understand it though. It's one of those where I feel like the plot went on kind of. It just kind of felt like it didn't really make a ton of sense. Let's go ahead and turn this down. Kind of break up that surface so it's not perfectly smooth. Now let's turn up Z intensity just a little bit more. All right. It's looking so much better. And then with this last piece here, let's go ahead and Control H, kind of pull out of that. We'll grab this color right here. And we'll just do something kind of similar, just to add some quick texture to it, so that it's not just flat and boring. And then let's go ahead and grab our little messy, oily texture in here. I'll throw that in there like that, like so. Decide if there's anything I need to go and get at the store before I call it a night. There we go. Makes it a little bit more rich. Varies up that surface just a little bit, you know? Helps to make it so it's not flat and boring. And then with these pieces, let's come over, we'll grab this. Let's kind of bring it in just a little bit, just to make it a little bit grungier and dirtier, so it's not just like a perfect flat color. I'm just trying to do it like nice and light. Okay. I'm going to try mask by cavity instead. I just need to make sure that I can get some good grunge in the crevices in here, just so that it feels like it's got, you know, like some age, and like it feels like it's got some life to it, you know. Give it a little bit of this mask by cavity. It's not really working. It's a little bit too pink. Let's move it back over here to the brown. It's a little bit better. That's better. Turn off symmetry, kind of just go and add in some extra finishing touches, but do it asymmetrically, so that way I can get a little bit better of a, you know, keep things looking like they're not the exact same. Today's Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday. I was gonna say tomorrow's Tuesday. I was like, no, tomorrow's not. Around, just getting another layer of detail and dirt and grunge, detail and girt and grunge. And Joseph we trust. Let's check and see how it looks with the rest of the character. And it looks pretty stinking cool. Okay. Awesome. 13 days, 13 hours. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, by the way, guys, there's this character that I had seen just now on ArtStation. The face looks really cool. I love how this looks. I love the just the shapes in that face and the eyes. It's just like everything feels very appealing. The clothing, I don't particularly care for the way that the clothing looks, but I can't really see it super well right now. Oh, there we go. That's better. But yeah, the face is super cool. Look at that. That is awesome. Yeah, pretty groovy. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, so now we've got this going on. I think next time I jump on, I'll probably go ahead and oh, I still have some texture things to do. Like I've got to worry about the belt buckle here. I've got to worry about, let me see, are these pieces committed at all? Let's see, surface, where is surface? I'm just totally losing it. So that should be good. Why did let me see. Oh, there's the deformation slider we can use now. We can go through. We can say, what is it called? What is it called? It's the details one that. What does bend do? I've never used that. It's funny. Like most of these, I have never. Oh, contrast. Now that's good. So come through here and do somewhat of a treatment, kind of like what I did with the other pieces down on the boots. Except I probably won't go through and do like my. Here, let's use the clay buildup. Probably won't go through and do like my little things like that at all. Or maybe I will. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. Turn off symmetry so that I can get something more unique on each side. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a Damien standard and I'm just going to kind of carve into, maybe I'm not going to carve into it, but I am going to use that clay brush and kind of mess up edges some, get some wear and tear on this. Make it look as though he's seen a side of the galaxy or two. And even beyond that, want it to feel like it's a hand-me-down, so it's not necessarily something that he just got, you know, brand new and he's sole owner of this. happened. The zipper is going to stay the way it is. It's just going to be too much to go through and do something with it. This down here, this is something we can play with. We can take this, let's say surface, we'll make a noise for it. Let's frame it in so we can see. Okay, now here's what we want to do. I'm going to turn on UV. I'm going to turn my alpha on. Let's go back to that, go back to library, texturing, flip normals. I actually don't remember what's it. Oh, it's the EXRs. I don't want the EXRs because they're, you can't preview them. In here, I'm going to use the depth. Let's say mix basic noise, turn that all the way down. Alpha scale, turn this down. Something like that in there. Okay, so now the alpha scale, let's just bring this down. Because that'll add some nice detail to that area of the mesh. Oh, shoot. Okay. And just for anybody who's curious, that's the same trick that I used down here on the boots to be able to make the shoelaces work the way that they are. Super helpful. Okay, it's not perfect as you can tell, but I mean it's good enough. It's good enough for what we need. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to say apply to mesh. Ooh, look at that. Hey. Say Control D, turn on our noise, say apply to mesh. Still not working for me, huh? Yeah, definitely not high enough for resolution. So let's go ahead. ¿Qué onda, vato? Pues nada. Look at this, 24 million polygons total. Almost like over 4.5 million just for this stinking little piece here. Good grief. Okay, let's see, surface. Let me see. You know what? Let me try a different noise. Let's try this one. Say okay to that. Make it something that's chunkier so that it can be seen. And we'll say apply to mesh. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Ah, see this? This is a happy papa. Yes. Awesome. Okay. How do you texture each object in ZBrush? It's just, I have this individual subtool selected, and then I'm able to use things like the surface noise to be able to do that. You can go back and kind of rewatch like the last 10 minutes or something like that. It's really good. I mean, it's a really nice, simple thing. Even at the beginning, maybe it wasn't the very beginning of the stream, but I went ahead and I did something similar with these shoelaces down. Oh shoot! Let's see the shoelaces. They have a similar thing happening with them, where it's you know, I went ahead and I applied a surface noise with an alpha, and then I went ahead and I committed it so that way it kind of looks like a chord. It's got that texture and that detail in there. It really helps to bring these pieces to the third dimension. In fact, no, I don't want to use the same noise. Let's go ahead and come in here. We'll say frame. Go to the alpha. Get something that's kind of a simple. I'm going to take the mix basic noise, turn that off, take the alpha scale, move that way down. Okay, and we'll take the strength and kind of boost it. Do something like that. Yeah, definitely not high enough. So let me see if we can do something. Let's go ahead and say geometry. We'll say convert BPR to geo, and we'll see how high. So right now it's at subdivisions of like 5 subdivisions. And then it took it up to 7.9 million. That's too faithful of. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out just a few more times, and then we'll convert it. Apply to mesh. That's better. Give it a little bit of a smoothing so that it's not absolutely perfect. Did I kill it too much? Nope, looks pretty good. In fact, that might be too much. That might be too much detail for what I'm wanting. I don't know. Some other day. We'll worry about it some other day. I gotta get some beauty sleep. Yeah, let's go ahead and save it. Let's get back into, right folder. All right. Shoot. Oh, the other thing that I want to do before I go ahead and kind of close out is I want to do a quick export of my textures just so I can have it to work with or whatever. Multi-map exporter, let's go ahead and dock this over to the side. So I want normal and I want the texture from Polypaint. Okay. Let me see, subtools, merge maps, that's great. Okay. And then I want, I should be good. Let's go ahead and create the maps. New folder, pass 3. Just so I can go back to it if I feel like I need to. And then it'll go through and it'll create those maps. Oh man. Yeah, I've been sitting way too much lately. Gotta go read something. T_guy. And it's gonna go through and do its thing. It's gonna take a long time. You can see it's going through already and starting to kind of compile the maps together or whatever, which is great. But yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, I can't stop it. I ought to have stopped, and I guess I can throw away the textures from the body. It's not a huge deal. But I have layers on the body, and so that's going to put some things into effect. Now the hair I can use. The hair I'll keep. The fur collar I'll keep. But I'll have to go through and just kind of composite things together in Photoshop, which is not a big deal. I was going to yeah, the big thing was getting those boots down, though. I wish I could like change my view while this is happening, just so we can, enjoy it, appreciate it, C'est la vie. C'est la vie, mes amis. But yeah, that's where we're at. This is how we do. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for the night. Thanks to everybody for jumping in, saying hi, and I always appreciate having you guys around. And hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys really stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys. I will be streaming on the Pixelogic channel Friday morning. So yeah, if you guys want to tune into that, that'll be fun. If you want to, I may also jump on tomorrow as well, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Still a lot left to do on this character. I want to start posing him soon. Oh, sorry, Abraham. Discúlpame. Yeah. And I got to go through and model those gloves. I've got to model an apple for him, or some sort of fruit. So yeah. Anyway, it'll be fun. There's still some things to do. I want to go through and start posing him though, really soon. It's already the 17th, so we have 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left on that challenge. So. So hopefully it'll go well. I'm looking forward to the rest of this, and I'll try to keep you guys updated. Yeah. I will see you guys around.